Hello and welcome. In this video I'm gonna show you how the energies flow from one generation to the next and how you can heal your ancestral lineage so that you can heal yourself. Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Katharina. I'm a medical doctor turned intuitive energy healer, and I've been doing energy readings for over 20 years now. So let's say you struggle with an illness, or you have a pattern in your life that you simply cannot shake, for example, and that runs in your family. For example, bad luck, right? We consider it bad luck. Or you cannot move forward in your business life or professional life, or whatever the pattern is, and you feel like this is generational, then this video is for you, because I'm going to show you what you can do. So this is something that is usually not so well known in the West, that we're not isolated beings, right? In the West we think about ourselves, I'm an individual, and which is of course true, but you're also connected energetically to your ancestors. And this is important because in a healthy healthy ancestral lineage, the energy flows from one generation to the next in a healthy pattern. And when that is the case for you, you can thrive. You have energy in your life, you're physically healthy, you can go out and do your thing and follow your passion and your dreams. But if the energy in your ancestral lineage doesn't flow correctly because of unresolved trauma, then that energy of course will affect you, and then you struggle in your life. Maybe then you have an illness that all the ancestors had in your lineage, for example, maybe diabetes or hypertension or any other illness. Or as I said, maybe you cannot express yourself and you cannot live your life to the fullest because you always have these blocks in your life, and it feels like really exhausting, right? So I want to show you first, to get you an understanding here, I want to show you how the energy actually flows from one generation to the next. And when a client comes to me and I do an intuitive reading, this is something I always check because it's so very vital. So let's say this is you here, and then you have a paternal lineage and a maternal. So we have on the right side, we call it the masculine side. So the paternal lineage is to the right, and think about it, when I draw it here, it's behind your shoulder. So let's say this is your dad here, behind you, yeah, and your mom here. Now, of course, your dad and your mom also have parents, right? And so we can continue here. Those are your grandparents. And then, of course, you can imagine that this continues on and on and on. So let's say in a line where there is no interruption of flow, let's say they were all healthy, let's say your parents did great, your grandparents had a good life and didn't have like really trauma that they couldn't release, then ideally the energy of love, which is in the heart, flows from one generation to the next, and also from here to your mom here, and then you, right? And if you have children, then you could imagine it in front of you. So this is a healthy pattern. And when the energy flows like this, as I said, you have energy, you can go out and live your dreams and fulfill them. But very often what happens is this: let's say there is an unresolved trauma energy in your lineage. Let's just say, so this is your dad, this is his dad, so this is your paternal grandfather. I'm just making this up to give you an example, right? Let's say that he had a big trauma, and I'm just blocking this out here because trauma energy always affects the heart energy, because then the heart closes. And I want to illustrate this to you. Now, then you have this energy, this is like an interruption of flow, right? Already coming to your dad, and so your dad will be affected, and he will have to also energetically deal with this trauma energy that your grandfather had in his field, and it will also be passed on to you in some ways or the other. Now, the interesting thing here is this is not just an energetic idea, right? We can also think about it more in physical terms. You probably have heard the term epigenetics. So epigenetics really means is an influence on the genes. how your genes are read. So if your gene is turned on or turned off. If a gene that creates good health is turned on, for example, or in this case, maybe if a gene that creates illness is turned on. And we know this from research that trauma energy impacts the generations very, very negatively. And so then, of course, you have this pattern in your life. And if it's bad, right, you can have it not just from one person, of course, you can have it from someone else as well. And so then you're struggling with this too. And I also want to explain this to you. Let's say this is trauma energy here. What trauma is one of the worst? And trauma energy is like a wave. And think about a wave that just becomes a little bit smaller with time. And so usually this is what happens is, let's say, here the amplitude is very high of that disruption of flow of energy, which is trauma energy. Then your dad will have to deal with it, and you will also have to deal with it a little bit less than the generation before. But if you don't do anything here to release it, then your children will also have to deal with it. So let's say in front is your child, and of course then you get the energy here, but you can see, of course, then your child will have to deal with it too. Of course, you have also the child influence of the other parent. So what do? The good news is that regardless of what happened in the past, you can do something to heal it. Now, how do you do this? You can always heal with the energy of unconditional love, because this is what got blocked, right? So when you have trauma, as I said, the energy of love shuts down in the heart, and that's then not transferred properly to the next generation. And so when you can manage and when you can create and cultivate a heart energy, and you can make your heart field bigger and bigger, and this is something that you can practice. It's something that you can do in order to help not just heal your energetic field, but your lineage. And you do this by focusing on the heart, by tuning into your heart, by deliberately feeling the energy of love, gratitude, and care that you might have for your ancestors or for yourself. And then what you do is, when you can feel it in the heart, you send it back. You can send it back, and you can make this connection here stronger. And how do you send it back? You send it back with an intention. You can also use a visualization. You can imagine that this energy flows back. And the interesting thing here is it will work, because time is not really linear. We think it's linear, but it's not. Everything is happening at this very moment. This is also what quantum physics tell us, right? And so you can cultivate an energy of love in your heart. You can even give it a color, maybe pink or any other color that you like, and send it back to your ancestors. And you do this with an intention to help heal your ancestors, and that it might clear energetically your lineage. And this is a very powerful method, actually. It's really powerful, and this is something I also do in my energy readings and healings. That's exactly when we do, let's say, I pinpoint it energetically, and I know, okay, the pattern stems from this ancestor. Then that's what I do with my clients. I'm sending the energy over to this person, and then it will affect again the client, and they can also feel it, and life becomes much easier then. And as I said, you can do this even though you might not be a healer. You can do this even if you don't even know what happened in your lineage, because a lot of people nowadays don't even know the lives of the ancestors. Now, the other thing that you can do is to help heal the ancestral lineage is to do some type of ritual, to create a little ritual for your ancestors, a space in your house or apartment. Maybe you have a photography of your ancestors, or you want to just get some flowers and create a corner, and this is dedicated to your ancestors. And again, this might now sound maybe trivial, but everything's energy. Which means, like, if you say, okay, I honor my ancestors, I send them good energy, I send them love, then it will affect you also positively. And as I said in the beginning, we have forgotten this in the West, and in other cultures they still do this. They send energy of love to the blessings to the ancestors because they know it just doesn't help them but also affects them positively. And I've also done a free energy healing, group energy healing to heal your ancestors, and I'm gonna link it below, so you can also watch that and still get a healing for your ancestors as well. So if you like that video, please give it a like, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time, much love and bye bye.